vertical live for the first time. I'm just trying to work my way around here, so I have no idea what I'm doing as yet. How is everyone doing? How is your 2025 so far? Well, I'm just here. As I said, I'm trying this vertical live stream. So let me check on my laptop to like here. So I have no idea. Okay, because it said invite a guest, and I don't have a guest. So I thought the screen would be well, I'm okay here. Perfect. I thought the screen would be vertical live stream for two. So let me check on my. But I realized that it's fine just the way it is. So how is everyone doing? Who is here with me? Come into the chat. Because it said invite a guest, and I don't have a guest there. So I thought the screen all right, would be, so let me know if you can hear me because I've never really gone live on that phone before. So that's very nice. It goes. Why is there a feedback? I don't understand that. Why is there feedback? I don't understand. And why am I hearing an echo? If you're in the chat, are you hearing an echo? Because I'm hearing an echo and it doesn't seem like it's clear. Hi, Miss Barbara, how you doing? Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Miss Barbara. If you're in the chat, let me know if you're hearing an echo because it's not anything as clear as when I go live on stream. Why does it echo like that? Am I supposed to mute something? Could someone, any YouTuber who knows how to go on vertical live, let me see. Let me know because I'm here. I hardly hear anything. I do hear an echo. I mean, to mute something on the phone or is can someone let me know how to go about this? I've never done the vertical live before. So welcome, welcome, welcome to everyone in the chat. If you're new here, please remember to subscribe. Just smash that subscribe button. And you can feel free to type in the chat, regardless of where you're from and what your language is, so that I can just know that you're here and I can give you a shout out. Is that supposed to move something on my device? Please let me know. So of course, I can't be doing my jingle and all those fancy things I used to do when I go live on StreamYard. So yes, it still sounds as though there's an echo. Miss Barbara, are you hearing an echo? Are you hearing an echo, Miss Barbara? Please let me know anyone if you're hearing an echo. Do this if you're a YouTuber who knows. As I said, it's my first time on Facebook. Welcome to everyone in the house. Let me know if you're hearing me clearly. We have a little topic we want to look at. I'm just trying out this vertical eye for the first time. But the moment say we can do it, we learn something when we come over here. So we have a little topic, your projections, your expectations, your predictions for 2025 based on everything you see happening and things. We have to pack everything together. So if you're new here, thanks for coming. I welcome you to this platform, Simple Things Only on OutreachMedia. Feel free to hop over and check out my many videos. Subscribe if you're new. Give a thumbs up and let's get into the topic. Yes, there's an echo. Miss Barbara, I don't know how to get rid of the echo. All right, let me see if I turn down my device, if that helps. I'm gonna turn this down. Okay, I think maybe that was the problem. So I turned off my device, Miss Barbara. Let me hear. Erin Silva, thanks. Let me know if you're hearing me now because I turned down my device, but the mic on my screen is still on. I'm not hearing the echo anymore. Could you let me know in the chat whether you're hearing the echo? Welcome, Erin. Let me. Oh, that's better. Okay, great. I got it. Okay, so let me know where you're checking in from. This, as you know, I'm a Jamaican here in Florida. Let me know where you're watching from, okay? So we can get familiarized with each other, okay? And let me know what time zone you're on. It's now 6:02 Eastern Standard Time in sunny Florida. Well, it was a bit rainy today, but let me know where you're checking in from, and what's the time zone, all right? So we can get to know a bit about each other. How is your 2025 going so far? So we're going to take a little look at, what are your predictions? What do you expect? Have you seen all the things that have been happening around us? Well, how is it in your country, in your area? What have you noticed anything unusual? Are things pretty much the same? What do you want to do differently this year? That sort of thing. All right. So first, just check in and let me know where you're joining from. Where you're joining from, which country, and what time zone you're on. 6:02 in Jamaica. Yes, that's nice. So, Erin and anyone else in the chat, let me see. Xander was here earlier. Don't leave. I got the sound fixed now, guys. So you don't have to leave. Okay, stay with me. I got the sound fixed. So anyone else in the chat, let me know where you're joining from. If you're new here, please feel free to comment in the chat and let's get to know each other. Okay. So 6:03 in sunny Florida, 6:02 in Jamaica. Where are you watching from? Drop that in the chat so we can get to know each other a bit. All right. Thanks so much for coming. Jamaica national anthem, Miss Barbara. Eternal Father, bless our land. Can never forget that. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless stars. To our leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica lands we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica lands we love. Thanks for sending up those hearts, and thanks for sending up the hearts. Remember, Super Chat is also active. You can feel free. There's a little link at the top. You can click on that on your screen if you'd like to bless up my channel with a super chat. A little link with a dollar sign. Just click on that and feel free to bless us up. So, what do you hope to do differently this year, 2025? I have a video on my channel about New Year's resolution. A lot of people like to make New Year's resolution. For me, it's not so much New Year's resolution. I have a video on my channel as to how all of that originated. But a new year is like a reset. Even when your birthday comes around, it's like a new chance. God has blessed you with one more year, a new chance to do things differently, right? So, what are some of the things you could drop that in the chat? What are some of the things you'd like to do differently this year? For me, my health. I hope by God's grace to eliminate meat from my diet. I've tried that before. If you're familiar with me on my platform, I've mentioned that so many times before, and I have a video where I spoke about that, and I addressed how my whole health condition, anemia, how it affected my teeth and my habits, my pica, which is eating non-food items like ice and chalk. Anyone does that? Or used to do that? Ice and chalk and all those things. Some people eat dirt. Some people eat the paint chip off the wall and so many weird things. So because of that, of my anemia, I've been down that road before, my road to vegetarianism, but I got ill twice. I ended up in the emergency room once. And the second time, my doctor, I went and did a battery of tests, and the doctor called back and said, head straight to the hospital. And I said, mm-mm, this girl ain't going. And she was like, why? You need to go to the report to the emergency room immediately. And I told her, no, I know exactly what it is and I know what to do. So I'm not going this time. But because of that, I had to start back with the meats, right? And some people have to advise me that, maybe you jumped into it too fast. It was such a drastic change. So this year, by God's grace, I'm praying about it and I'm gonna start fasting about it. The right way to go about it, because I need to start eliminating these meats, because God knows and I know that I know, and people who know me know I love the curry goat and I love the oxtail. So apart from just my health condition, it's also asking God to remove the desire for these things. I'll try to go gradually. I don't eat those things very often, right? But like keep the chicken, keep the fish, and then eliminate the fish over time. And I mean, eliminate the chicken over time and keep the fish. But I've been doing a lot of research over the years as to vegetables and greens and that sort of thing that are rich in protein, so I can replace the protein from the meats. Our body need the protein; it's not the meat that our body needs, right? So don't judge me, especially if you're a Seventh-day Adventist. Don't judge me. People have reasons for doing things the way they do. And another thing, I don't want the veggie meats. I eat them at church each week, but and I do cook them at home sometimes, especially when I tried before, twice before, to be a vegetarian. But all that processed food, you're not going to tell me that that is good for you either to be eating every day. And I'm not the type of cook who use my food to make something else to make dinner. You understand? If I'm gonna eat, take for instance, oatmeal burgers. No, I'll just make oatmeal, or as we call it in Jamaica, oat porridge, and eat the buns, the burger buns, eat the bread or something, and I don't like burger that much anyway, even meat burger, to be making oatmeal burger. Right? And so I'm not going to be processing, I'm not going to be processing one food item into something else in order to use that thing to make my dinner. That's not me. I'm just going to cook what I'm eating and just eating. I'm not that type of a creative cook. So the lack of good vegetarian recipe is also a drawback for me. I had a friend, a Haitian friend up in New York. I still do have a friend, but I mean when we were up in New York. And she gave me a very good recipe with cashew. Like how you'd have your chicken in cashew, chicken in broccoli, beef in broccoli, whatever. Cashew, sweet and sour, cashew nuts in broccoli. And I love that one. I've tried it a few times since you made it for me before. I've cooked it a few times and I like that. But cashew is expensive. And the one health food store that we had in this area, what was the name again? I don't remember. In my little town here, city, although they say it's a city, but it's a very tiny little country, like suburban area. It ran out of business during COVID. Of all the things, the health food store ran out of business. So it's closed down. So I don't even have a health food store in my area. So I would have to buy the items online. The cashew is expensive. So that is also a drawback. I guess maybe you could use peanuts or any other nut. But that's a very good one. The next one that I know that's rich in protein is jackfruit seeds. And it makes a great curry. If anyone in the chat has ever tried that before, you can let me know. Jackfruit, curry jackfruit seeds. It's tedious, but it's worth it. It tastes so good. It tastes so good. I made it in Jamaica and everybody loved it. That's the one and only time I've ever made it. But I'm not gonna buy the candy jackfruit seeds either. So because to me that's just as bad as eating meat because that's processed food. And sometimes in this area you might find jackfruit in Publix, extremely expensive. The fruit itself don't taste too nice. But I think I'd buy them for the seeds. So you boil them. It takes forever to boil. It takes longer to boil than like red peas, which is kidney beans for most people. But you boil them for maybe an hour or more until they're soft enough. Much more than an hour. Maybe if you use pressure cooker, you could pressure cook them. You boil them, and but you have to strip them, and that takes forever. It takes like another hour in order to strip enough for, let's say, two meals or two persons, two servings. It takes forever because you have to strip them individually. After you strip them now, then you can mix your mince, dice, your seasonings, your onions, and your sweet pepper, and whatever you're using. For me, I like to burn the curry because it gives it that nice color and that nice flavor, and it doesn't upset your stomach. So I burn a little curry in a little oil or butter or something, and then I add them to it. And after they get the color, in Jamaica we call it brown, although that's curry. But you know what? After they all get the color, then I add the diced seasonings on top, and just from there you proceed just as how you do any curry. But I tell you, those curry jackfruit seeds, if you've ever tried it, you could come into the chat and let me know. Curry jackfruit seeds. So those are two vegetarian recipes that I know I would do. But as I say, very expensive and hard to find. Cashew in broccoli, sweet and sour, and curry jackfruit seeds. So those are two. Apart from like your ackee and your cabbage, steamed cabbage or whatever. So that's basically four. But I can't eat just four things every day. I can't eat just four things every day. So if you have vegetarian recipes, I know there are things like one of my sisters in Canada taught me sweet and sour eggplant, and that is very good. Yes, yes, Miss Barbara. Whenever you buy jackfruit, or if you have jackfruit in your area, you can try it. We used to roast the seeds growing up. I don't know if you know that or if you've ever done that in your area. We used to roast the seeds and strip it off and eat it. So I guess in order to make the curry, you could also roast it if that's better. Maybe you could like parch it, like how they parch fresh peanuts. That could work. But I don't know if the parching would be as good because the boiling takes forever. I would never have guessed that it was so hard to boil them to get them soft enough. But they have like a yummy, like a yellow yam. If you know yellow yam, anyone in the chat, like a yellow yam sort of texture and flavor, but they're sweet. Just as our jackfruit is sweet, the seeds are sweet. So so those two I know I would try. I love sweet and sour tofu. Whenever I make it, people always like that. Me too. Yes, yes, Miss Barbara. So I know tofu and perhaps keep. I like the veggie pot roast, but I'm not gonna eat those things more than, as I say, I eat them at church once a week. So I'm really not gonna cook them at home. I love soup, like Jamaican soups, and Jamaican soups. Soup isn't soup without a lot of meat and a lot of dumplings amongst the other foods and stuff. So that one is difficult for me to replace, right? If it's just vegetarian soup, vegetable soup with your vegetables like your potatoes, your pumpkin, your carrots, some corn, and that sort of thing. Maybe chocho or whatever they call it, chayote up here, and your little dumplings and so on, yam and whatever, cassava. That's not bad, but I can't imagine like pea soup, red pea soup. I love kungu pea soup. I really can't imagine them without the meat. Remember, I said part of my drawback is because I do love meat. I have to admit, I'm not gonna lie. Welcome, Juba. Welcome, welcome. Bless up, Juba. How you doing? So that would be a drawback because I love soup. I would drink soup. I would make different type of soups every week, once a week. So how would I replace that? I also love stew peas, black beans, or kidney beans, which is what we call red peas. I love that. But I found a substitute which is vegetarian, some little strips they call it, um, lemon chicken, or I don't remember, lemon chicken or something else. Those little strips, the little sweet, they're like a sweet and sour flavor. I used, when I tried vegetarian once before, I tried those in the stew peas and that wasn't as bad. When I give it to my kids, they are like, no, this isn't stew peas. It doesn't taste the same to them. So that I would eat. As I said, my um, sweet and sour eggplant, my sister taught me that you can either do it in the oven or you can do it on the stove top. Bless up, Juba. I'm trying out vertical live for the first time, Juba. Because someone told me you get so many views. And that's true because when I just came on, there were 23. But I didn't know how to control the sound because I had my phone all the way up, like how on my laptop on StreamYard, you'd have it all the way. I didn't know that I was supposed to turn it down, but we figured it out. Miss Barbara helped me to figure it out. She gave me the feedback, so I know when it was better. Right. So the sweet and sour eggplant is a good one, but on stove top, I would advise it's quicker than in the oven, but it absorbs a lot of oil, so that can be healthy either. Maybe if you use coconut oil, that would be good because coconut oil is very healthy. I would recommend olive oil because olive oil is really not meant for frying. And if you say you're gonna go become a vegetarian, then we really shouldn't be using the other oils because they're not really healthy. Maybe like sunflower seed or something like that. So the sweet and sour eggplant is another recipe I could try. I'm not a lasagna person. I don't know how to cook lasagna. You know, me, I'm just a basic Jamaican. Just give me the Jamaican, the original, authentic Jamaican dishes. Those I can cook. But I'm not a baker and all these fancy, fancy things that you have to read recipe. I can't cook from recipes. So all these things that you have to read a recipe, and I'm not good with that. So all this eggplant lasagna, I've had it a few times. And why T block your comment? Why T held your comment, Juba? Okay, you need to turn it down some more because I'm here. You know, I saw you in your background. You need to turn it down some more because I'm here. Okay. No, I turned it down already. I turned the phone down all the way. So because I didn't know that you had to turn the phone down. But I think Miss Barbara is hearing me clearly, so that means it's good. So if you're new here, guys, remember to subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Give a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Super chat is active. If you're on your phone, there's a little box, like a message box, and the dollar sign with zero next to it. You can click that. If you're on your laptop, it's or your tablets or your PC, it's the same as usual. And that dollar sign is right next to the chat. Right. Thanks for coming in, everyone. So so right there I have like 4 recipes I could use, but am I gonna eat that for the entire year? Every day for the entire year. You understand? And vegetarian cooking is not something that you should really cook and put away for tomorrow, sort of thing. So you have to bear that in mind. So I've learned a lot since, and for this year, my result, I hope to address that, my health and my spiritual life. Those are two of the things, along with all the other stuff that I used to do. But those are two of the things that I'm focusing on more. I'm not focusing on so much outreach like I used to before because I'm not. My mom is here now. I'm taking care of my mom. My sister and I are taking care of our mom. So I'm more occupied than I used to be. So like to go there and like we used to feed the homeless. I can't promise I'll be doing that much anymore. But I also took on more things at church, which will also impact the community. It will be outreach in that sense as well. So basically, in addition to like family and whatever, right? So for me, so let me know now in the chat, what are some of the things that you plan to do differently this year? Go ahead. Also, when you check in, let me know what time it is and where you're joining me from. So go ahead and in the chat and let me know where you're watching from. And then you go ahead and give me a feedback as to what you want to do differently this year. All right. And then we get into the other stuff. Gonna look at what you think this year is gonna bring in terms of predictions based on the things you see happening. Every day is something new. Every day is something new. Canadian Prime Minister resigned. All that. I'm like, what? You know, ever since the US elections in November, you're hearing so much about Canada and tariff and this and that. No, suddenly, Canada, let me look for the news article. I can read it for you guys. But let me know in the chat, Juba, Miss Barbara, anyone else in the chat right now. If you're new, you can come forward and let me know. Even just one thing that you plan on doing differently this year, or one thing that you plan on improving for your own personal life, your own personal growth. One thing that you plan on doing differently, one thing you plan on improving, or one thing you wish to achieve for this year. Let me look up that news article. Meanwhile, I can add any fancy music and all of that, like I used to on StreamYard. So no commercial breaks. I just have to keep talking. All right, let me look for that news article. Canadian Prime Minister resigns. Okay, so while you do that, let me just look for one of these articles and I'll just go ahead and read it to you. This is from CNN. This is from CNN. Go ahead and let me know what you hope to achieve or what you hope to do differently this year. One of these articles and I'll just go ahead and read it to you. This is from CNN. All right, I see an article here from CNN. Let me see that one. Canadian's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced Monday he intends to step down as the country's Prime Minister. Yes. Leaving office once a new ruling party leader is chosen. But I spoke with my sister. She didn't. Did she tell me that? Canada's parliament will be suspended until March 24 while a new leader is chosen, he said. How far is he? It just feels to me like Trudeau has been in power since the past 3, 4 terms. I don't know why. All right, let me see what Jova says here. Let me read it on here instead on my laptop. So Jova says, the only thing I plan to do is to draw closer to God, but that's all I plan to do. I guess you may draw closer to God. You left out the God. Yes, that's part of me. My spiritual life. That's part of my my desire, my prayer as well, Juba. To draw closer to God and improve on my spiritual life because we see the times we're living in. These are no ordinary times. Even if we said it 2 years ago, 3 years ago during the pandemic, trust me, the way 2025 has started out, this not normal at all, at all. So let me know where you're watching from, guys, and what time it is in your area, and then you can go ahead and let me know. Let us know in the chat. One thing you hope to achieve, or one thing you hope to do differently, or one thing you hope to improve on for 2025. All right, so let's get back to the breaking news here. Trudeau, leader of the, is that how it's pronounced though? I could never do, is it Trudeau or Trudeau? Trudeau. I think it's Trudeau. I'm saying Trudeau. 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 Whichever one. And those Papale Francais. Okay? Papale Francais. Trudeau, leader of the Liberal Party for 11. I knew he was there for a long while, man. I'm like, this man seems to have been in power since forever. How many terms can you run for in in Canada? Leader of the Liberal Party for 11 years and Prime Minister for 9 years, was facing a mounting set of crises. from Donald Trump's tariff threats. Yeah, I hope to look some more into that because this was a big topic leading up to the elections, man. Tariffs on Canada. To the resignation of key allies and disastrous opinion polls. Is it that bad? Huh. Though the ship may be rocky and the sails may be torn, I find shelter in the eye of the storm. So I don't know whether rocky ship, rough seas ahead for Canada or not. Any Canadians in the chat, let me know. Let me know what is the forecast, the political forecast. Because people, Canada is one of the most, Canada, Singapore, tell me some other countries, some of the most stable economies. So whenever you hear or even any hint of anything happening in countries like those, then you start thinking, things don't look too bright at all for other nations. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Monday told reporters that opposition leader Parle Français, Pierre Poilievre, I don't know how to pronounce this, vision for the country doesn't make sense. They sound like Jamaican Parliament. The opposition leaders' vision for the country doesn't make sense. That's what the Prime Minister said. That's what the Prime Minister told the news reporters today. Excuse me while I laugh. Well, I get that one though. I have to watch that one down because. Welcome. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up. Please, Super Chat is active. Let me know where you're watching us from and what time it is, what time zone you're on. It's now 6:28 in not so sunny. It's just about sundown here in Florida, okay? So let me know, especially if you're new, let me know where you're from. So let's go over that one again. Prime Minister Trudeau told news reporters that the opposition leader's vision for the country doesn't make sense. All right, let's see where this is heading. His vision for this country is not the right one for Canadians. Stopping the fight against climate change doesn't make sense. Trudeau said in a news conference in Ottawa, we need an ambitious, optimistic view of the future. And Pierre Poilievre, as I said, Parle Français, is not offering that. I don't speak French, okay, so I can't say all those fancy names. Trudeau's comments came as announced his decision. Okay, well, this article needs editing. Trudeau's comments came as he announced his decision to stay. Come on, CNN. You don't have a news editor? Announced his decision to step down as leader of the ruling Liberal Party following a series of political crises. The party is widely expected to lose a general election later this year to the opposition Conservative Party. So they are predicting that the Liberal Party is going to lose to the Conservative Party. But we've found that many times when one leader is in power for too long. Generally, first term, it's too early to achieve anything. So a one-term president or prime minister, hardly. And I mean anywhere. I'm not just talking about Canada here. Whether Jamaica, Canada, America, England, anywhere. Miss Barbara says I don't plan to do anything but to keep my eye on the Creator. Thumbs up, Miss Barbara. That's the best thing. Keep your eyes on Jesus. I don't remember it. Well, the storms around you roll. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Yes, my dear, because we can't even keep it on the leaders. We can't keep it on the pastors, the presidents, the prime ministers, or anything. Only Jesus. All right. Okay, so the party is widely expected to lose a general election later this year. So that's what I was saying. A one term president hardly achieves anything because one term is not enough to undo, which is generally the cycle. Undo what your predecessors did and start doing what you had in your manifesto to do. One term, generally 4 years, that's not generally enough. Second term is normally when keep sending up those hearts. Thank you so much for the hearts. Second term is generally when you can make a difference. All right. But by the end of the first term, people can see where you're heading, whether you're going to be a good leader or not. Right? Sharon, if you're on my live stream, I'm on live. You're texting me. And I'm talking about your country. So jump in and come tell me what is going on over there. So the second term is normally when you start achieving something. If you're doing good, people might settle with you for going into a third term. But if you're not really doing well, people start getting, um, you know, getting disgruntled by the third term or so. So it's not that the opposition is normally a better choice because this is pretty much where Jamaica is at right now as well. Just like where Canada is, it's not so much that the opposition is always a better choice, and that's perhaps why a lot of people prefer the American model of politics. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the chat because people don't get to overstay your welcome. Because some people don't know when to bow out. You understand? You saw that with Siaga in Jamaica. You saw that with PJ Patterson. There comes a time when it's time to bow out. Because you don't want to end up being like a dictatorship, right? Even in church politics. That's why, like in the Seventh Day Adventist Church, we don't have one pastor for too long, you know, and we don't have officers for too long. Every 2 years, generally, a lot of things have changed since COVID. Basically, most churches kept their officers and their pastors during COVID. Some pastors just got burnt out during COVID also. So that's why, because if for too long the leader becomes like a dictator, you understand, and like want to have a hold on everything. It happens in the church and it happens in the world, right? Some people generally start getting disgruntled by around the third term. So sometimes the opposition is not a better choice, but because people just want a change. We have seen it in Jamaica, we have seen it in other countries. Sometimes people just want a change. So who was it who said what was the saying about change? Not just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Not that just that one. But there's I don't remember the saying, the popular saying about change. Change just for the sake of change. For me personally, it doesn't make sense. But sometimes that's what, especially in the political world, sometimes that's what people want. They just want new faces, new way of doing things. So sometimes, so it's like it just keep going this way. One step forward, two step backward. One step forward, two step backward. So you're not progressing any at all, right? So I don't know if that's the case here in Canada. If there are any Canadians in the chat, you can let me know. All right. Reacting to Trudeau's resignation on Monday, Paul Livry, as I said, I can't pronounce it, Papa Le Francais, pushed his agenda of reducing taxes and enforcing strict controls on immigration during what he called a dark chapter in our history. So are those the vision for the country that Trudeau said doesn't make sense? Come tell me the things here. Canadians can take back control of their lives and their country, he said in a video posted on X. In a video post on X, take back control of our border. Take back control of immigration. And immigration seems to be a big topic, not just in America, because remember, Canadian borders, the Canadian border is also the US border. Take back control of immigration, take back control of spending, deficits, and inflation. We'll cap spending tax taxes, reward work, build homes, uphold families, stop crime, secure our borders, rearm our forces, restore our freedom, and put Canada first. But remember, Trudeau said it doesn't. The opposition's vision doesn't make sense. Oliver has built a steady lead over the ruling Liberal Party in national polling averages, while earning support from other populist figures abroad, including ex-owner Elon Musk, who played a key role in US President Donald Trump's election campaign. And Musk is originally Canadian as well. So that's that for what's going on in Canada. What's going on in your neck of the wood? Let me know. There's a lot going on here in America. There's so much going on recently that, like, not just here, but in the world. Like, four plane crashes. Four plane crashes. There was Puerto Rico. This was last week or the week before. Was it Puerto Rico? A total blackout. I don't remember how long it lasted, but like the whole island was in darkness at one point. There's a volcanic eruption. Where is that again? I don't remember. There's just so much going on. Plus, what's going on here? There was a in Las Vegas, the pickup truck. No. The Cybertruck. The guy who blew up the Cybertruck in Las Vegas, and as if to send a message, a Musk vehicle, and in front of the Trump Hotel. So that is just like he's sending a clear message there. Then in New Orleans, right in Nolo, the pickup truck, the guy who ran the pickup truck into the crowd and unalived. Was it 11 persons? Then was it Saturday night or when? In Washington, just like they said, a mile from the capital. What happened in the who? There's just so much. It's just so overwhelming. What happened in Washington again? I don't remember what happened in Washington. Plus the Queens nightclub shooting on New Year's night. Plus the guy who lit the woman aflame and unalived her in the subway. I think it was the one train in Manhattan. That's in New York. Plus something else happened in the train. Yes, someone was Stabbed, someone else in the train. I think that was yesterday. Plus, a man tried to push someone in the track, but other passengers saved that person. Plus, what else? Which brought me now to what I want to talk about. Plus the fog. Have you seen my video? Have you seen my video? What's behind this mysterious dense fog? Go check out my latest video. I didn't figure out how to pin anything to the chat in this vertical live, but I guess I'll drop it somewhere. Check that out on my page or just type it in. What's behind that mysterious dense fog? Right? All of that was going on. Prior to that, it was the drones and the quote. Too many cray people. Oh, you're here. I just finished reading. I just finished reading the CNN report on Trudeau. And Trudeau says that the opposition's vision for the country don't make any sense. So that sounds like Jamaica. That sounds like Jamaican politics. Right. So prior to the fog, there was the drones and the UFPs, quote unquote UFOs, quote unquote orbs, or whatever you want to call them. That was all over New Jersey, but not just New Jersey. They were seen in Texas and in all other places. And then the fog came. Have you noticed? I was saying to my daughter last night, we were talking. Who have heard of any drone sightings since the fog came? Let me know. I truly been talking. Well, Sharon, I was just wondering if you were in the chat when I was reading that. I was like, I need someone from Canada to come talk the things. So, okay, pause. Stick a pin here. Let me just revert to the Canadian situation. Okay. Give me a minute, Juba, Miss and Miss Barbara, anyone else in the chat. So the opposition's manifesto don't make any sense, and the prime minister is stepping down. Elections are not due until the end of this year, so your people are just gonna sit in here in limbo. How the song go again? Not waiting for them. I don't remember. Sitting here in limbo. Now they're good enough resistance because I know that my Jesus will get me home. You're just gonna sit. I mean, it makes no sense. Somebody make it make sense to me. So what's gonna happen to the country? Who is running? Is gonna run the country after today? Sharon, put it in the chat. Is it a deputy prime minister? Did I read it in the article? I don't know. I need someone to tell me all of that, and I need to have a one-on-one talk with someone to understand a bit more about this tariff thing. Why it's so important, and I don't mean just what the news say. I tend to look behind the news and like conversations with people who can see beyond the headlines, as the little article in Jamaica, the little media presentation. Beyond the headlines, we need to dig behind the headlines during these times. They're gonna no confidence him end of March, and after he had to call election. Okay. Okay, so elections are due by the end of the year, but they're gonna do it after March. Till then, he's still okay. I see. I see. Good evening, Mama Simple. Lorraine, welcome, 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 welcome. Okay, because I was wondering if they're gonna have like an interim president or something. So what Jamaican Prime Minister don't take? Just take the cue to Andrew. Take the cue from Trudeau. Sometimes change is necessary. I was explaining, guys, when you have a 3-term, 4-term president, just like with Siaga and PJ back in the 70s and 80s, well, going up to the 80s and 90s. It don't make sense. Sometimes change don't make sense just for change sake, but sometimes people, you have had just too much of the same thing, whether good or bad. When you have had too much of the same thing, then you just want to change. So I was explaining that even the church in the Seventh Day Adventist Church, that's why we don't have one set of offices or one pastor for too long. You understand? We try to change them often because you don't want that sort of dictatorship, that sort of stronghold on things, You want democracy to reign and that sort of thing. So, but let's see as I said, let's look beyond the headlines. So election will be early spring. Okay. So welcome, Lorraine. How are you doing today? So as you're checking, guys, let me know where you're checking in from. I see some people in the chat. I know that a lot of new people are here. So go ahead and drop where you're checking in from and what time zone you're on. It just started raining. So thank God. It hasn't rained in months. Since Hurricane Milton, the last big hurricane we got here in Florida in the end of September. It's the end of September, right? It perhaps with where I am, this side of Southwest Florida, we perhaps had a little drizzle, maybe 3 times. And I don't mean a drizzle that even if your car window was open, you could have left it open. It was just a little noticeable drizzle. But I hear a little shower coming down. I don't know how much it is, but believe me, guys, after such an active hurricane season, a lot of people are saying, we're going to have a terrible drought, and we really are experiencing a drought. So we thank God for the showers of blessing. There shall be showers of blessing. Okay, so that's that for Canada. We looked at, what we wanted to do different for this year. You can drop it in the chat if you're just coming in. Let me know. Juba gave me his driving home from work. Okay, I'm happy you're going home early. So I know you can really type in the chat. When you get to the stoplight, let me know one thing you want to do differently. Not no New Year's resolution. I have a video on that because all of that is some old coming back from some pagan thing. But what do you want to do differently this year, or you hope to achieve, or you hope to improve on for the year? I explained about my diet and my desire to, by God's will, to change my diet and to drop meat. So Miss Barbara said she just want to draw closer to God, and Juba said he also wants to draw closer to God. So let me see what Sharon said here. Tariffs only hurt the people who apply them to the exporting country. For example, imposed tariff on Canadian oil. It's imported by US states. So it's more expensive to sell to the states, and the end consumers are the ones who pay. But what I really want to know what's going on with Canada, why this man over here, that was a card, like a part of his manifesto for the elections, and I was wondering why it's so important to him, right? So tariffs are like taxes, guys. That you, for those of us who might be unfamiliar with the term, that you impose on items coming into your country, or items that imported, or items going out exported. Which, as Sharon said, makes the sometimes it's done to discourage. Let's say, like we have gungo peas. We have so much gungo peas in Jamaica, especially we were from Clarendon. Gungo peas grow where it's dry and hot. I remember my parents used to have gungo peas from this year to next year to sometime weevil. There is no market for it. So sometimes it get infested with weevil. So let's say like we start importing gungo peas, they call it pigeon peas here from Mexico. You can impose, what the government can do is impose, in order to protect our local farmers, is to impose taxes and duties, tariffs on the importation of pigeon peas, gungo peas from Mexico, so that as Sharon explained, the gungo peas coming in from Mexico becomes more expensive to you when you go to High Low and Shoppers Fair, and I don't remember the names of the supermarkets, so that you can, when you go to I don't know if Miss Barbara is in town. So Juba, when you go to Lacovia or to Santa Cruz Market to buy your gungo peas, you pay cheaper. Or even if you buy the local one in the store, you pay a lower price than the one that is imported from Mexico, so that you can protect the local farmers and help them to make more money. But in Jamaica is a bad example to use, because I can't really see why. Lorraine, why on earth are not importing gungo peas, pigeon peas? No, in Jamaicans, a lot of Jamaicans would much rather buy the one from Mexico, because we always feel that everything from foreign is better than everything where we grow our yard. And for those of you who don't in the chat, that's Jamaican patois. All right. So that's basically what tariff 101, tariff in a nutshell. All right, so we're coming back over. We're hopping from place to place. As I said, guys, I'm just trying out this vertical live because I heard that the views are much better, and I keep seeing it in my creator studio. Try vertical live, try vertical live. When I first started, we had like 23 persons, but I couldn't get the sound right. So I guess a lot of people are gone because they could see I didn't know what I was doing. But with the help of Miss Barbara and Juba, I got to figure it out. So it's not much better. So thanks for coming in. Give a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I have a wide variety of interesting topics and informative topics on my platform. You can just click the name under the video and go over and watch when you have time. Give a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. You can also remember that Super Chat is active. That little dollar sign, if you're on your phone, next to that little chat box thingy with zero next to it, send up the zero. Click and support this channel. If not, if you're on your laptop or your iPad or whatever, it remains the same. The dollar sign is right next to the chat. So let me see here what Sharon said. Okay, so Lorraine said she was on her way home. Sharon said, or more expensive to produce good in Mexico, so it will be raised in US markets. And why Jamaica import cabbage? Jamaica importing cabbage now? You lie. So Juba, you are from St. Elizabeth, where we St. Elizabeth and Manchester, you get some of the best cabbage, potato, thyme, and scallion. What else? Yam, banana, and so too, but mainly cabbage, thyme, and scallion. When you go like in down south, Treasure Beach, Malvern, all that area down there, going down to the beach side. Instead of lawn grass, what they have in their yard is thyme and scallion. Right, you see the biggest mansion with thyme and scallion right up to the veranda step, right? Cabbage and all those things. When you're going to Santa Cruz Market, and when we used to live at Appleton Estate, I don't know if they still, Juba, do they still have a market at Appleton Estate? You can just smell the dirt, the brown dirt. The things just smell so nice and fresh. The cabbage is so tight and we really got import cabbage. No, no. Jamaican Prime Minister need to take an example from Trudeau. Well, I can't blame him because successive governments have done the same. Barbara says, so true, simple, for real, you better believe it. You leave out Milan. Miss Barbara, please tell me you're not telling the truth. New Year, no, we're not going to talk any lies going forward because that must be a lie. Importing watermelon when St. Elizabeth, I forgot to mention that. You have melons rotting on the ground, St. Elizabeth, from ever since I used to live at Appleton Estate when my then husband was working down there. You would see melon literally rotting on the ground in the farm in St. Elizabeth because of no market. And we really got import. And more than likely is the GMO seedless taste bud watermelon. You understand? I love watermelon, but I can't tell you I've ever really had any sweet watermelon. They can't find them. They're watery and they're red and they look so pretty. And when you bite into them, the best thing to do with them is to just juice them and drink it. It doesn't have the tangy, sweet, rich flavor that the Jamaican watermelon has. And we gone import watermelon, Miss Barbara. Lord, we have no melon now. They look like duppy. Well, Lorraine, a lot of what you have said, like with the pollination and the dying out or the killing out of the vegetation and the natural habitat for like insects and birds and that sort of thing have a lot to do with plus the change, the climate. Let me not put it that way. Lord, I take that back. The change in climate, not the other way around, because we know what that is. Plus, all of that might have something to do with it. The seasons are so mixed up now that for instance, we haven't had any winter here yet. Maybe 1 or 2 days down here, we're cold enough to put on a little jacket or a little sweater up to like I think last week Thursday, last week Wednesday night, New Year's night, I think. It was so hot. You couldn't believe it's December. It's the end of the year. It's New Year's Eve, I think Tuesday night. Okay, those type of things are very expensive now, Juba says. You mean the local ones? When you go to Santa Cruz Market, are the local produce so expensive that people would rather buy the imported one in High Low and Shoppers Fair and wherever? And John R. Wong and that sort of thing. Please let me know. Seedless is garbage. Yeah, that is it too, guys. One of these days, I hope to start having some more health people so we can do some more health talks on my platform. But I can't promise anything structured the way I used to because my schedule is not structured like that anymore. So if I just feel like hop on and do something, I'll just hop on and do something. Juba, is it because of the rain and the storms why they are so expensive? Let me know, Juba. Is it because of the weather? That's what I was wondering. Is it because of the weather? Because like plantains and bananas, we couldn't really find much here. Whenever it's hurricane season in Central and South America, because most of those things here come from Mexico, Ecuador, Costa Rica, especially the banana, the pineapple. Some of the watermelon, I think, is grown here. So whenever it's hurricane season, we had a very rough hurricane season, very active hurricane season. then we don't get much of those things and the prices go up. Corn as well, as though most of the corn come from here. I think Delaware is one of the states that grows the most corn. So like in the winter time, where do they grow corn? I don't know. I don't know. Juba. So Juba, is it because of the rain? Sharon is asking why it's so expensive. Miss Barbara said, "Can I tell the worst melon? I did say export melon. I was talking about Saint. Oh, you were talking about in Saint Elizabeth. Okay, yeah. I don't like the ones from over here. I cannot see why Jamaica would be importing watermelon, cabbage, gungo peas. Come on. Come on. So everything. So going back to the previous topic now. Welcome again. If you're new, guys, give a thumbs up. Thanks for joining my live stream. So we're looking at your predictions and your projections now for 2025. So based on all that now, going back to the whole drone thing. So leading up to not this past week, up to the week of Christmas. So it was all about, oh, what's that in the sky? It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a drone. No, it's a UFP. No, it's a ARP. No, it's a UFO. Then after that, it was like fog all over. England had fog. A lot of most of Europe had fog all over the US. I was trying to see whether there was any reports in the Caribbean. You guys can let me know in Jamaica. Did you experience the thick fog that we've had? And I was trying to see whether like in Africa and Asia and that sort of thing. You understand? Because it was pretty much global. Then have you noticed, guys, that you've heard nothing about any drone sightings since then? Think about it. You know, remember I said, look beyond the headlines. Beyond the headlines. None of the drone sightings since then. Nothing like that since the fire. So check out my video. I have two videos. My two most recent video. One on the drone thing and another on the fog thing. The fog one I saw some of it with my own eyes. I went outside and I couldn't believe what I saw. I'm not implying anything here, but I'm just saying it didn't look normal to me. Right. So check out those videos and leave me your feedback. You might have more expert knowledge on it. So of course everything is looked at through the lens of the Bible. So and the spirit of prophecy writings to see prophetically whether there's any implications of any of these things. All right. So I have some quotes in there that you can I give the source. You can check them out for yourself and see whether they apply to the things you're seeing around you right now. Because I don't know, I've never seen fog. As far as I know, fog and mist are supposed to like come down, right? Because when condensation, meaning like when you're boiling water, right? The water is the colder, has a colder temperature than the fire. So when the warm air or the warm fire in that sense meets the water, which is colder, it condenses, it goes up as gas, as steam. You understand? As well, we say, oh, the water is steam, and we see the fog, the smoke, the steam going up. That is condensation. When it goes up, rises up to the surface, especially when you open the pot. Sometimes you ever see it goes all the way up to the ceiling, and then you see little water droplets fall on your kitchen ceiling, and then those can come back down now as droplets, right? So basically, that is how mist and fog operate. So they're supposed to, it goes up, right? And then it can fall back down as dew. In the Bible, I have that all of that in the video. The Bible itself tells you that mist rises. I have at least three quotes in there from the Bible, three Bible texts that shows you that mist rises. The Bible cannot lie. But this thing was like coming down, more like the dew. You know how dew comes down because it gets too heavy up there in the clouds. That's how rainfall as well. The water droplets get too heavy and falls through the cloud and come down as rain. But this thing was like not just him coming down; it was like going across. If I move here, it's like like I'm like a magnet drawing it to me. You go there, it comes towards you. So I don't know. I'm like, I wish I see someone with a video from like 10, 20 years ago to see if that's normally how. Because when you don't think of things, you don't just pull out your camera and videotape them because everything seems normal to you. But when it seems abnormal, that's when you videotape them. Then I remember that 2 years ago, I was coming in from work one morning and I saw an armadillo. Armadillo are some animals we have here in Florida. Originally, they were the cause of leprosy. If they bite you, you could get leprosy. And they dig holes in the ground. They have like a thick shell and a long thingy. I don't know if it's beak, nose, sprout, mouth, or what. So whenever when I always pull out my phone and try to get a video tape of it, but they don't really stay. As soon as they see you come in, they just rush underground. They look for the water canals and you'll hear them swimming through. So I remember that morning I saw one. As I came out of the car, I saw one. It was foggy, very dense fog on my way home. So I pulled out my camera to videotape the armadillo. And I noticed that the fog was like coming towards me. That's 2 years ago, January, just about exactly 2 years ago. Right? It was coming towards me and I was like, this is strange. So now when I see everybody talking about this thick fog, and I looked through the window like 3 times in the past 2 weeks and I saw that it was, thick fog outside, and I'm like, but it didn't rain. The temperature didn't change because normally when the night is getting colder, then that's when you'll have fog and you know that the time is gonna get colder. But the temperature didn't really fluctuate. So when I went outside New Year's Eve, I'm like, no, the fog is so thick and it's coming down. In front of my phone, you could diagnose it, the particles. The particles, like you could use your finger to a thick particles, and it's like coming towards you like a magnet. So watch the video and tell me what you think, guys. In light of everything, let me come here and catch up with the chat. So Miss Barbara says, going back up to the watermelon part. Watermelon, where are you? Okay. Juba say yes. I think he means that they're expensive in St. Elizabeth. So Sharon is saying hi to everyone. We have fog every winter. Yeah, because because it's getting colder. So when the surface gets colder than the normal warmer temperature, then you're gonna have fog. But I'm saying, like here in Florida, I don't know about the other areas. Florida, a lot of the sightings that were reported in Florida. Here in Florida, the temperature wasn't changing much then because we've hardly had any winter. So it's not the sort of condition. It didn't rain. Like tonight, if it's gonna get colder tomorrow, I'd expect it to be foggy tonight because it says we just had a little shower just now, but there was no rain, there was no precipitation, there was no water droplets. So okay, yes, because the aquarium of this dry month of the no, I'm not too sure. Say that again, Juba. I'm not too sure what you're saying right here about the dry month. Okay. Send that in again, Juba. What you saying about the dry month? So, Miss Barbara said no, she didn't see any fog. But like in St. Elizabeth, Juba can tell her this time of year. Oh my Lord, you can't see in front of you. You can there. You see in the mornings, you can hear the dew falling off the leaves like raindrops. Sometimes you have to look at the window to see if it's raining. Heavy, 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 heavy. Not fast, but like tap, 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 tap. Heavy, heavy. If you go outside like 4:35, because like I remember Monday mornings I used to leave. There's this bus that leaves at 3:30 from Silo. And it comes from Newton and goes up to Silo. So take it at where we were living at Appleton Estate, and it comes right into town. I was working into Spanish Town then, working in Spanish Town and living in Kingston. So so you see, when you go at that time, you think it's raining because it's very cold this time of the year, especially in January like this, very cold in St. Elizabeth and Manchester, especially in the hilly interior. All right, so Sharon said in the true Jamaican vernacular, the test them done for the drone them, so the drone them gone. The drone them gone. So because people have been saying, as I said, people have been saying that it's because of whatever they were doing with these drones. Why the fog? No, I'm not gonna say I support some of these because some of these ideas are really crazy. But as a true Jamaican, if something not go so, it nearly go so. You understand? So I don't know. They have you can read up on like smart dust and those things. Go read up for yourself and form your own opinions. All right, guys. One thing I've come to learn, I was saying to somebody, I think yesterday I was saying to my daughter or something. One thing I've come to learn, a lot of the things that they call conspiracy theories are not merely theories. All right, but it is a fact that different bodies, organizations, groups, religions, whatever. The devil is really conspiring. You understand, with different bodies or different people, different groups or whatever. So it's not in the way as how people saying to say that it is false and it is way out there and it's something they shouldn't believe. To me, the devil just used kind that term to deceive you because he is the Bible tells you in Revelation 17, for example, right? In Daniel 11, it tells you they tell lies at one table. In Revelation 17, the Bible tells you um, I'm paraphrasing here about verse 11 or so. They come together, they give their not their power, give their not dominion, but something like that, to the beast, right? Because God has put it in their hearts to fulfill His will. So of course they're gonna conspire. So the things that the powers that be, or whatever you want to call them, the organization, the whoever responsible for running this world, so to speak, the different nations or whatever. You understand? Of course, they have to conspire. When you come together, even like at the UN meetings, or when you come together at Garden House, or Congress or whatever. Of course, you're conspiring. Even in your company, you come together in a board meeting. You are conspiring. Even in a church board meeting, sometimes they are conspiring. So we should stop letting it seem as if this whole thing is such a negative, such a bad thing, so that people don't even want to say, "Oh, I read this, or I heard this, or I believe this, or I think that might be true, or I'm gonna read up on this or research on that." And people tend to let that person feel like they're cuckoo or they're way out there. There's somebody you must, you know, alienate or distance yourself from. No. The Bible tells you about conspiracy. There's a text. Let me see. Let me even read this text for you. Let me see if I can find it for you. The Bible used the exact word. Let me see if I can find this text for you. I don't remember. I think it's in Jeremiah or Isaiah. Okay. The Bible tells you about conspiracy. There's a text. Okay. Let's even read this text here. In Isaiah 8, Isaiah 8, verse 12. Say ye not a confederacy to all them to whom this people shall say, a confederacy, neither fear ye their fear, nor be afraid. No, I'm not reading it in context, so I'm not really going to break down exactly what the Bible was talking about. You can go back and read it for yourself. Sharon, if you're still there, you can just put Isaiah 8, verse 12 in the chat for me. Isaiah 8, verse 12. So you can go back and read Isaiah 8 and see exactly what Isaiah was talking about. Margaret in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me just put it here. Isaiah 8, verse 12. So you can go back and read. I'm not breaking down the context or telling you what to believe or what is Isaiah was talking about. I'm just telling you that the Bible even used the word. Right? So in the King James Version, the original, the word is confederacy. But in some of the other versions, for example, ESV, English Standard Version, do not call conspiracy all that these people call conspiracy, and do not fear what they fear, nor be in the dread, but the Lord of hosts, him you shall, meaning you shall fear him, the Lord of hosts. All right. So even the Bible uses the term, although different versions, some call it conspiracy, some call it confederacy. So when you talk about certain things, don't allow people to like let you feel as though you're talking nonsense, or you planning something, or you believe in some weird thing, because the Bible tells you that in these last days, I just told you, Daniel 11, Revelation 17, you can read it for yourself. That nations, leaders of these nations, who the Bible called kings, will conspire. They'll come together. Daniel 11, they tell lies at one table. Daniel 11, they come together and give their thrones to the beast. They reign for 1 hour with the beast, they give their throne to the beast because God has put it in their minds to fulfill his will. So I'm just saying, whatever you take of it, you can take of it. Let me go back and see what's up here. I drive in fog so thick that I couldn't see 3 feet in front of me. But that's the thing now I'm saying, Sharon. I've driven in fog so thick that you can't even see the license plate. Because when it really foggy down here, it foggy bad, like just like St. Elizabeth and Manchester. I've driven in fog here coming home from work in the morning that you can't even see the license plate of the vehicle in front of you. But what I'm saying, where were those particles? If you watch my video and the many videos online and in the news, so I'm not talking about a conspiracy here. On CNN, BBC, the top news networks. What, couldn't your headlamp pick up those? So how come the headlamp picking them up now? Those particles, no. In the past few weeks, even since this year, I've driven through fog like that, and I didn't see those particles. The video I took 2 years ago, I told you when I was trying to videotape the armadillo, and I saw those particles. So there's the most viral and most popular one on TikTok, YouTube, whatever. I think is LED light the person was using. So I don't know if LED light and your phone camera light or whatever makes it look different. But some of them were your headlamps, and you could see the particles. So how come you see them in summer? You didn't see them in these past few weeks. Okay, come on, man. You don't have to correct yourself. Proper English. I drove in fog, so think. Mama simple no traffic. I don't know. As I say, I'm trying vertical lives. I turn it on. I don't know how it goes. I notice with live streams these days is when if you go back and watch it, that's when you're getting the traffic. I don't know. Margaret says so true. Thank you, Margaret. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And while you're coming in, guys, remember part of what we started with, just drop it in the chat. One thing you hope to achieve, one thing you hope to do differently, or one thing you hope to improve on by the grace of God for 2025. We're here looking at what are the predictions. We see the whole 2025 has started out. I gave a little brief outline of the different news items and the craziness that's happening all over this country, all over the world. And then today, Sharon's prime minister resigned. So we just look throwing everything in the mix and saying, you know, we're not making any predictions of our own. But when I say predictions, I'm not saying we're prophetesses and prophets. We're just saying where are these things tending? Is 2025 going to be normal? You understand? Dribble woman, dead brother. Okay. Oh, Dribble say, okay, I was telling you that the rain have this dry month after the crop. Okay. So this month, you're saying this month of January is dry because the dry months normally come after the hurricane, and then the rainy season starts. Isaiah 8:12. Yes, thank you so much, Sharon. Sharon say, Mommy Simple, lots of echo. We hearing you twice. But I thought Miss Barbara told me that we fixed that. I tried to correct that. Let me try again. I tried to correct that because I understand that you have to turn off your device. Is it any better now? It was worse at the start because it's the first time doing this vertical live and I'm really not sure how it works. But I'm not hearing myself again, so I hope you guys are hearing me. Right, so let me know if it's any better. I thought I turned it off completely. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Send up the hearts. Send up the hearts if you're enjoying this live stream. And remember, Super Chat is active. Thank you so much. Super Chat, Super Sticker. You can help to bless this channel. All right. Miss Gay, how are you? I was in your house. I was in your house. Good night, host, and everyone in the chat. Miss Gay, thanks for your encouragement last week on my live stream. I'm trying out. the vertical live, and I see what you're saying. When I just started, there were 23 people on, and there were people from with different names. You could see they speak different languages from all over the world. So it is working, but I don't understand it well. So understand that I'm still echoing because I was hearing myself twice, and Sharon in the chat is saying she's hearing me twice. So one of these days, I have to reach out to someone to explain to me exactly how it works. But I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Thanks for encouraging me with that, Miss Blake. I was in your house watching some of your stuff last night. So God bless you and Meek and your entire family. You can drop it in the chat. What is one thing you hope to achieve for 2025, or you hope to do differently, or you hope to improve by the grace of God? Good night, host, and everyone in the chat. Thumbs up, done. Amen. He did. Thank you so much. Hello, yes, Miss Gay. Sharon is saying hello to you, Miss Gay. We meet again. Yes, Miss Gay is always so supportive. I like Miss Gay. So now, guys. So one more thing, which I sort of saved that one for last, of all the craziness that's happening. This new thing. I don't even know if we can plainly say some of these things anymore at YT. But while we can, let's talk about them, no? Let's dialogue. In China, all right? Not the Christmas toys this time. A different type of Christmas toy. Not the China doll. Not Chinatown. But have you been watching the news? I remember 2020. It was the same. We were hearing about this thing from November, December, but many people didn't. You understand? Many people never heard about it. I remember in January when I brought it up at church, only one person heard about it. And by 2 months after that, March, February, March, it was lockdown time. No, I was watching, I like watching like Al Jazeera, BBC, Hindu Times, and, I like watching international news stations from across the globe, from that side of the globe as well, not just over this side. Over this side is like what you call predictive programming. They tell you what they want you to think. Over that side, sort of like give you the news and allow you to think, which is the type of journalism I like because I have for myself. And I see that it's gone to my son texted me rice and plantains. He made chipotle. my text, my son texted me his dinner. This boy turned a big cook, you see? That's so nice. No, you're tempting me, son. I'll check it out when I'm done. No, you're tempting me. Guys, sometimes you might see me post them on my platform, although he doesn't know that I'm posting his dinner pics. Follow me on Facebook as well, guys. Please, same simple things Outreach Media. And you can connect with me on IG, simple underscore things YT. With the vertical live, I can change the save the fancy stuff, the fancy audio and video, like I do on StreamYard. So I just have to tell it with my mouth. I'm trying to grow my Facebook platform. So please, same simple things, Outreach Media. Yes, so coming back to what I'm saying here. India. Now I get to understand that it has been detected in India. So are we gonna wait? Remember 2020 when it migrated to England, and then the first case, the nurse in Long Island, and then all hell break loose, as we'd say. What do you think about this one? Put it in the chat. What do you think about this one? Is it just another scare tactic? Or is it something that we need to be concerned about? Is it something we're prepared for? Remember, Mama Simple always tell you, that if we think we see anything, we don't see anything yet. And I'm not telling you from the top of my head, I'm telling you based on the Bible. All of those of you who are Bible scholars, students of prophecy, you know that all these things are just a test run. Not even the dress rehearsal. The dress rehearsal don't come yet. When you have like a skit, a school performance, or you sing on the choir, or you have a concert or whatever, the night before or whatever, you put on the costumes, you set up the stage, and you do everything, and you practice everything just the way you're gonna present it. You call it a dress rehearsal. We ain't even see the dress rehearsal yet, moreover the real concert. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. Let me go back into the chat. Okay. In 2025, Sharon says she hoped to improve her health and well being and only encourage positivity. Amen. That's the same thing I was sharing with those who were here when I started. Although I don't know how much they heard me because the echo was so terrible. Isaac's family. Welcome, Isaac. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, Isaac. How are you all doing? How is the family doing? All the best for 2025. You can share in the chat what you hope to improve on, you hope to achieve, or one thing you hope to do differently by the grace of God for this year. Okay, Miss Barbara, you were here from the very beginning. Thank you so much for being here with me and for always being so supportive. Have a good evening, Miss Barbara. Thank you so much. Keep sweet, my dear. God bless. Sharon saying hi to Margaret and Miss Barbara. Oh, Barbara says she don't have a face. That's okay, my dear. I know you follow me on IG. I love reading Times of India, one of the best newspaper. Yeah, I love their news and the way they present their broadcast. India is on high alert. Cases there already. And you know that India is what? India is one of the India has the highest population, right? I think. So are we gonna wait? Do we have to wait, guys, until things come right? Not even next door. Come at your doorstep before we take precautions. That's what I always wonder. Or is it that we still, after so many lessons that we have learned over the past 4 years, prior to then, but more so since like 2001, in especially, do we think we're so invincible that, oh, it happens over in the east, it's not going to come to the west? What are we? Are we gonna wait? Do we have to wait on the different organizations? The who, what, why, where, and when, and how. You know, if you know what I'm saying, to tell us what to do and what precautions to take. By then, the mandates might be so tight that we can't even move around anymore. And I do believe that it might be heading to that. It might not be this, what is it called? I almost say HPP, human papilloma virus. No, what's the name? Let me, as I put in new, it's sometimes you ever feel like your computer, your phone thing for you. As I put in new, guess what? I could have been saying new look, new car, new anything. You know what popped up as I type in NEW? Exactly what I'm talking about. Can you believe it? But it's just that don't get into the conspiracy theory, guys. It's just that it's a number one hit, meaning maybe like the number one thing that people are searching for right now that begins with you. It's not your computer reading your mind, okay? Although it's possible. If it no goes up, it near goes up. HMPV, yes, HMPV. Let me maybe like the number one thing that people are searching for right now that begins with you. So that's the new one that's going around. So are we gonna wait until human metapneumovirus, right? Human metapneumovirus. Yeah, because I know it had to do with pneumonia. Human metapneumovirus. So we see that is also still a respiratory virus, meaning your respiratory system, something that affects your lungs, something you can breathe in, whatever, whatever. So let us not wait, but let us take our own precautions. Why are so many people wearing masks again once more? Are we gonna wait until it comes on our shores, on our doorstep? You understand? And also, people, with all the things that I was saying to my mom this morning, with all the things that are happening, I still can't see how people don't believe in God or don't try to give their lives to God. It's not that that is gonna prevent us from getting in trouble or catching this or bad things happening to us or whatever. But more so, we'll have peace of mind and our soul salvation is secure. That's what people don't understand. We might still catch a virus, we might still die, we might still have, you know, lose an arm or a leg or meet in an accident or catch some deadly disease or anything bad can still happen to us. But the bottom line is that you have peace of mind, you have joy that only God can give, you have hope, and more than all, your soul salvation is secured. Understand? Paul say if in this world If only in this world we have hope, then we would be of all men most miserable. Meaning that if this was the only world, YOLO, you only live once. Especially this younger generation who believes that this is all there is to life. So that's why they go all out and go crazy trying to get everything and get all the fun and all the happiness. Fun and happiness is temporal, but joy is eternal. Only God gives joy. The joy of the Lord is my strength. That's what the Bible says. You understand? So what Paul is saying that is this: if this is the only life that we have, this is the only world that we'll know, then we'll be the most miserable. Even as Christians, we'll be the most miserable. But because we know that we have hope for something better. The world didn't start out like this at creation. It was perfect. It was paradise. I'm not gonna say that we're just magically gonna transfer that, like that big yellow book that they used to come around and sell when we were kids, magically transfer to this paradise again. No, you understand? But eventually God is gonna recreate. And I want to be a part of that, because if this is all there is to life, then it will be punishment for God to have made us. So I know that this is all there is to life. You understand? Highest population: India, China, US, Indonesia. Indonesia? It, I didn't know Indonesia was way up there. I know India and China. I thought it was India and China. I never know Indonesia. Okay, Sharon. Where's my t-shirt? Margaret. This was a gift from my choir director some years ago when I was in Jamaica. If you join my membership, guys, I forgot to tell you. There's the word join when you're watching my video, or if you go on my channel itself, it will show you where to join membership. If you join my membership, this t-shirt, Margaret or anyone, this is your gift. Okay? So the t-shirts are only available to those who join my membership. So you can get your card out, go over reasonably. It's not no big money thing. Understand? Go over and join my membership. And that way support my platform, and this would be your free gift. Okay, Miss Margaret or anyone? True, because this world, well, miserable for true. Better believe it. Right? So those are the things I'm looking at. Those are my projections based on all these things, right? Whatever is in the air, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything in the air, but for real. But I do think it's cause for a pause to really assess what's going on. Whatever these drones, I did a live stream on that before. You can go over and watch that a few days back, not last week, I think the week before. Whatever is going on with those drones and those objects that are up there, whatever they are, I pointed out based on the Bible, right? What they could possibly be. I don't know what they are. But all of that, plus like I do believe we'll be seeing a greater role being played by all of those things. AI, I do believe in 2025 is going to play a greater role as well. I do believe that the nations will be conspiring and coming together more. I have also have a video on that. It's called Is the Image of the Beast Being Formed? You can go and read that, because everything is tending to one thing: when the commandment of God comes into question, when the biggest decision we have to make will be made. We'll be forced to make. It's not that we are even going to be allowed to decide. We will be forced to make that decision of who we worship and how we worship. So I've never read the 2025 Agenda 2025 thing, the how many hundreds of page documents. I've seen a few videos discussing various aspects of it. I haven't read it myself, so I can't discuss it because mom is simple. Just like with the fog, I saw it with my own eyes twice, so I can talk about it. I don't just talk because people are reporting it, even if it's on CNN. You understand? As long as it's not in the Bible and I haven't seen it written, or I haven't seen it with my own eye, I'm not just going to get up and form opinions about something I don't know about. You understand? So I haven't seen the Agenda 2025, but I've seen a few videos where people are dissecting it. But I do believe that this is a turning point year. This is maybe even prophetic, I can say, because it's not the year or the time that matter anymore in prophecy. It's the events. So I do believe that a lot of events will be start, even if they don't occur this year, but they will fall into place. And of course, I do believe that from what is happening, it's tending towards more calamities. We see, as we said, four plane crash, one volcano eruption. We see all the storms and tsunami in Peru and that sort of thing. Total blackout in Puerto Rico. You know, so many things. Fires in California continue to rage. So I do believe this winter storm is one of the worst ever recorded. So I do believe that we'll be seeing more and more. And as they increase in rapidity, meaning they get more rapid, they get faster, and intensity. They get more intense. They get more severe. That these things are all coming together for the fulfillment of prophecy as outlined in the Bible. Jesus himself, even if we don't go to John nor Daniel or Isaiah, Jeremiah, or anyone else, but Jesus himself, Matthew 24, Luke 21, Luke 13. So study these things for ourselves, study to show ourselves approved. Let me know what your feedback is in the comment section, guys. And people love to say I'm a preacher of doom. I'm not a preacher of doom. I'm a preacher of hope. Because God loved us so much. That's why he warned us about these things. So when we see them happening, what did he say? He didn't say we must lose hope. He said we must look up because the redemption joy nigh. When you look up what you're doing, you look into Jesus. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing, right? Not a negative thing. That's not a scary thing. To look to Jesus is a great thing. So it's hope. I it to me it's just so exciting to be living in times like these when I can show people without a doubt that the word of God is real, that God is real. Whether they want to accept it or not, I can force them to. I can take the Bible and beat them over their head, but I can show them these things and show them these things from the Bible. So it's up to them to accept. You understand? So to me, like when we were children, and my brother used to taunt us with 1999. Oh, you're not even going to live to get married or anything because Jesus going to come back. But then we didn't even say Jesus, God coming back in 1999, and it used to be so scary. But because when you're little children, you don't understand the plan of salvation, you don't understand anything. My battery is getting low. So it used to be scary. Let me plug in my phone, guys. This thing really run down the battery though, and it's overheating. iPhone is not gonna charge when it's overheating. Let me just take off my thing. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I just had to I can't stay long now because it's overheating. So you understand? It used to be scary because we did not know, we didn't understand, we didn't have that hope. So of course, as a child, everything would scare you. But now, the more you study, the more you get understanding, the more you get wisdom, and the more you know. So the more you draw closer to God. Two persons say that's what they want for this year. The more you draw closer to God, and the more you have the reassurance that everything is going to be okay. So there's no need to worry. All right. So I want to leave you with that thought, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Go watch those two videos. The one about the image of the beast, and well, three. The live stream that I did about the drones and stuff. And the last video I uploaded, I think Friday evening, about the fog. All right. Remember to follow me on Facebook. Same simple things, Outreach Media. I'm gonna try to go live on Facebook maybe even once per week. I'm trying to build that platform. And on IG, it's simple underscore things YT. Remember, Super Chat is active. Even by watching my videos, you can give a super thanks. I also have PayPal. My link is in the description of my videos. When you click on the name of the video and you see the word more and the little drop down window that tells you about the video, describes the video, my links are there. My email is there if you want to email me about anything. If you disagree with anything, if you want to criticize anything, I welcome the feedback. I do welcome the feedback. I love you so much. Please remember to give a thumbs up before we go out. I'm going to go out within a minute. So if you have anything more to contribute, you can go ahead and contribute. Hey, where are you watching me from? Go ahead and drop that in the chat and also share with us. one thing that you'd like to improve on, or you'd like to achieve, all right, or you'd like to change for the better for 2025. Also, if you, based on the discussion here, if there is anything you see that you think 2025 will bring, based on your own observation and based on the Bible, you can drop that in the chat as well. So Margaret says, thanks for letting me know if Sharon have one. If so, I will join. Oh no, 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 no. Sharon is more like a sponsor, especially when I used to do the, you know how you used to help to sponsor some of my outreach. That's what mainly what Sharon does, but I'm not doing outreach like those in such magnitude anymore. But to join is like a monthly subscription. You used to download the video. And now it froze my video. I should have put my phone on do not disturb. Right? So that's how you join. It's very reasonable. I think I start at $3.99 per month and I go up to I think 25 per month, different levels, 4 levels. So you can go ahead and join my membership. I'd be happy for that support. Thanks for all my new subscribers, my new viewers. Become a part of this family by subscribing and even more so by joining my membership. Welcome all my new members. Thanks for your support. So you'll get your t-shirts when you join, okay? So Margaret says she's watching from New York City. I'm just messing with you. Okay, Margaret, I understand. So I must say that this vertical live was a great experience. I couldn't get to share my video clips and my jingle and whatever like I do on StreamYard, but I do see where more people came in. Thumbs up the live, guys. And I think I'll do it more often, right? I don't want to be under any pressure to schedule a specific time or whatever. But anytime I feel like jump on, I might just jump on here and go live again. So I want to thank you all for coming. If you haven't come forward in the chat as yet, just do so for me and let me see who you are and where you're watching us from. So for everyone who was here, Margaret, Sharon, Lorraine, Juba, Miss Barbara, who else was here? There were some people up top, Xander, Erin, and if I missed anyone, and for those of you in the background who didn't come forward in time, I do have in the chat, I do appreciate you all so much. So thank you all for coming, and you have a great day. Remember, everything we do here is meant to help to prepare us for the day that is coming when mankind will have to make its greatest decision of all who we worship and how we worship. So until next time, Mommy Simple love you, but Jesus love you more. Have a great evening, everyone. God bless you all.